she never thought one moment at the airport would change her life forever. One ordinary morning turned into something unforgettable, a story that will stay with you long after this video ends. If you're watching this now, trust me, don't scroll away, what happens in the next few minutes will touch your heart. And if you believe in second chances, in humanity, and in the power of kindness, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel, because stories like this are meant to be shared. It was a rainy Thursday morning, the kind of day that already feels heavy before it even begins. Claire, a young single mother in her late 20s, was rushing through the crowded airport terminal with her 4-year-old daughter, Emma. Her flight had been delayed twice, her luggage was heavier than she remembered, and Emma had skipped breakfast in the chaos of the morning. By the time they reached the waiting lounge, Emma's tears were streaming down her cheeks. She cried and cried, loud enough to draw frustrated looks from other travelers. Claire's patience, already worn thin, was on the verge of snapping. She bent down, trying to hush her daughter with promises of candy and toys, but nothing worked. The little girl's sobs only grew louder, and Claire felt her chest tighten with embarrassment. She wished the ground would open up and swallow them both. She muttered under her breath, "Not now, Emma, please not now." That's when a janitor, dressed in a plain blue uniform, pushing a cart with cleaning supplies, paused nearby. His hair was graying, his hands worn and calloused, his eyes tired but gentle. He crouched down to Emma's level and, in the softest voice, said, "Hey, princess. It's okay. Do you want to hear a story while we wait?" To Claire's shock, Emma's crying slowed. She looked up at the janitor with curiosity, hiccuping through her tears. He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small origami bird, folded neatly from a napkin. "This," he said with a smile, "is a magic bird. Do you know what magic it has? Every time you hold it, it takes away one sad tear and replaces it with a happy thought." Emma sniffled, clutching the bird with her tiny hands, and for the first time in an hour, she smiled. The storm seemed to calm instantly. Travelers around them relaxed, some even smiling at the touching moment. But Claire, already stressed and exhausted, felt a surge of irritation. She stood up sharply and snapped, "Excuse me, sir. She's my daughter. You don't need to interfere. I can handle her myself." Her voice was louder than she meant it to be, edged with anger and insecurity. Heads turned again. The janitor didn't flinch. He simply looked up at her, kindness still in his expression, and then he said something that made her entire body freeze. He spoke her name. "Claire, it's been a long time." Her breath caught in her throat. She stared at him, confused and shaken. How do you know my name?" He stood slowly, his eyes glistening as if carrying years of unshed tears. "Because once, many years ago, I held you in my arms when you were crying just like your daughter. And I promised myself I'd never forget your face." Memories surged back like a flood. Claire's chest tightened as the truth began to sink in. This wasn't just some janitor. This was the man who had once been her father's best friend. The man who used to visit their house when she was little. The man who disappeared from her life after tragedy struck. "Mr. Daniels," she whispered, her voice trembling. The janitor nodded. He had once been more than just a man in uniform. He had been a decorated officer, a family friend, a mentor. But after losing his own daughter in a car accident years ago, he had fallen into grief so deep he disappeared from everyone's lives, taking whatever work he could find just to keep moving forward. Claire's knees weakened. She sat down slowly, her daughter now playing quietly with the origami bird, oblivious to the storm of emotions between the two adults. "I thought you were gone, no one knew where you were." He sighed. "Sometimes pain makes us run, Claire. But today, watching your little girl cry, it felt like God was giving me one more chance to do something right." Tears welled in Claire's eyes. All her anger, all her stress, melted away in an instant. She reached out, her hand trembling, and touched his arm. "I yelled at you, I didn't even know." He smiled softly, shaking his head. "You were just protecting your child. That's what good parents do." For the next hour, as the rain poured outside and flights continued to delay, they sat together. Mr. Daniels told Emma stories about brave birds and hidden castles. He told Claire stories of her father, stories she had long forgotten. Slowly, the pain of the years began to soften, replaced by something Claire hadn't felt in a long time, hope. By the time the boarding call finally came, Claire hugged him tightly, whispering, "Please don't disappear again. Emma needs someone like you. And maybe, so do I." The janitor's eyes shimmered. For the first time in years, he felt like he had a family again. As they walked toward their gate, Emma waved her little origami bird in the air and shouted, "Look, Mommy. The magic is real." Claire smiled through her tears, realizing her daughter was right. The magic wasn't in the paper bird, it was in the power of kindness, forgiveness, and second chances. And maybe, just maybe, it was in the janitor who reminded her that no act of comfort is ever too small to change a life. So, if this story touched your heart today, take a moment to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who might need a reminder that even in the darkest places, unexpected angels walk among us. Because sometimes the person we least expect, like a janitor at an airport, can end up being the hero who brings us back to love, hope, and family.